You're listening to the AfricaMusicLaw.com show, Africa's premier entertainment law show empowering the African artist. And now, your host, attorney, speaker, visionary, game changer, Ms. Uduak.
Hey AML people, it's your one and only certified game changer, Ms. Uduak. I'm still in Los Angeles at the 90th Annual National Bar Association Convention. I wanted to make sure you didn't feel left out if you couldn't make it down here, especially for my AML listeners that are lawyers and practicing attorneys. So this is a quick, short, pull people in and ask them questions that I think would be relevant to you, even though you missed out and you're not here. So our 52nd episode, I got a chance to interview BusaniMabunda, who is the president for South Africa's Black Lawyers Association. We will go straight into our interview with him. Enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe. Remember, go to www.africamusiclaw.com and subscribe there. Subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, poddirectory.com, and I will talk to you all soon.
You're listening to the AfricaMusicLaw.com show, Africa's premier music business and entertainment law show, empowering the African artist.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the AfricaMusicLaw.com show. I'm sitting here with Busane, who is the president of the Black Lawyers Association in South Africa. We're here in Los Angeles, California at the 90th Annual Convention, and it's indeed a pleasure to have him. Mr. Busane, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's so good to have you in the U.S. and in California. So welcome to our lovely sunshine state of California.
No, I'm extremely excited and happy to be here also.
Why was it important for you to be here at this particular convention this year?
It has become conventional for us as practitioners from South Africa because we have an affiliate relationship with the National Bar Association. So there is a clear benefit in terms of us coming here to the convention and share the ideas, part of this convention. And then because we are working on having a relationship, but the relationship is already in existence because the NBA does, in some instances, like was the case this year, did come to South Africa in their international trip. So we do have a relationship. It has been there. It's an ongoing one.
Okay. Now, typically when we talk about lawyers, and African lawyers particularly, I'm of African heritage, specifically Nigerian. When we talk about African lawyers, people do not equate the continent with law. It's always lawlessness and no rule of law. And the last time we actually saw and thought, wow, the world saw that there could possibly be a legal justice system was from your country with the recent criminal murder case of, why is his name escaping me? Oscar Pistorius. That's when we thought, oh my God, Africa actually has a legal system, and even then, only South Africa. So can you speak to how do we break this idea that Africans are just some lawless people? How do we get people to recognize that we are also countries and a continent of law?
Well, it is extremely unfortunate that the perception which you are talking about is very abound. But I do have an understanding because those who may not be in the know equally think that, and then maybe when they do go to Africa, it's just a jungle. But it is one of the continents. Obviously, in general, there is law and lawfulness. In other words, following the law as well as the rule of law is taking place in the continent, but that has not found general applications. There are still challenges in certain of the countries where you find that there is undermining of the rule of law. But you have correctly pointed out that in South Africa we do have the rule of law, and the rule of law reigns supreme.
Okay. Now, the rule of law reigning supreme, it'll be remiss of me if I didn't ask you this question as an fellow African, as well as obviously a lawyer as well, and people looking on the continent. Your country, yes, we now know that there's a rule of law through Oscar Pistorius and the whole legal criminal proceeding that happened. But on the flip side, we see and hear about a lot of xenophobia. What is the role of the black lawyer? You're the president of the Black Lawyers Association. What is the role of the black lawyer in making sure we curb xenophobia and making sure that there is a strong stand saying the rule of law, as you said, reigns supreme and will be enforced in South Africa?
Well, I'm very happy that and then you are asking that particular question. It is a societal problem. I would like to start by saying that we do rebuff conduct of that particular nature. We are on record when it comes to that particular aspect. As part of society, as a lobby group, we did have our share in terms of denouncing that. But I am very happy to say to you that there is no general rule which basically promotes xenophobia. It's something which is happening. It's a reality which we are confronted with, but and then at an organizational level we are very clear. But over and above, society in general, the majority of our people are anti-xenophobia. If I may add, to demonstrate that we will be having in August the SADC Lawyers Association, wherein...
And what is SADC for people who may not know?
Okay, the SADC Lawyers Association is the conglomerate of bar associations within the Southern Tip. It's a regional organization of lawyers. Now, as a leader, I will equally be having an opportunity to state our position to our fellow African brothers as a president of the Black Lawyers Association and equally as one of the leaders in the legal profession. So I will equally get an opportunity to say to our people within the continent as to where we stand.
Okay, 3 final questions. I'm going to parse it out. I want to first cover the U.S. and then go back and stay in the continent to wrap it up. On the U.S. end, a lot of the talks at this particular 90th annual convention has been racial justice, inequality, and things of that nature. For you as an African lawyer, and specifically also as the president of a Black Lawyers Association, are you finding relevance in that kind of discussion to what you're doing over there on the continent?
Yes, I do find the relevance on what is happening because what I am witnessing, which and then I do both through the discussions which you are talking about, and then as we are having this electronic media, we do follow the events as they unfold, and obviously. And then there is some form of resonance with what black people went through in South Africa, except that and then we are having less of that, but and then we do share the pain. But most importantly, the advocacy role which is being played by the lawyers, black lawyers to be precise, in the United States, not only advocacy, over and above their availability to be representing the poor and downtrodden and those who suffer this kind of subjugation is highly commended.
Okay, now let's go to the continent and stay there. The first of 2 final questions that I have for you is, what is your vision for the Black Lawyers Association right now on the continent, particularly in South Africa? What has been your stated 2015 vision in taking that organization to the next level?
Well, it is an ongoing mission. It is an ongoing vision. And then we do have historical reasons of our existence. But now things are changing because we are coming from a situation where we constituted and continue to constitute the minority in the legal sphere, but when we look at the demographics of our country, we are the majority. So at a social level, from a representativity point of view, we have been striving in terms of making contribution to ensure that the majority of black practitioners become black lawyers, and then which will actually be in line with the national demographics of the country. But going to the question of the specific mission and vision for the year, that just become an ongoing role, and then men and women do come and go, but then it is very important to make sure that then we ultimately have the realizable objectives for humanity as well as our society.
Final question, a very strong following with the African music law audience in from Nigeria, certainly. And the Bar Association, as you know, they're pretty active, a huge bar association. I'm in a country of over 170 million people. We have a lot of South Africans that do business in Nigeria, as you already know, from the ShopRite to the MTNs, etc. What relationship is your organization brokering with the the Nigerian Bar Association over in Nigeria to really create that kind of support? Because if you're saying the majority of our country is 95% black, for example, majority black, but then we're so underrepresented in the legal field. But then right across, and not too far from you, is a huge giant of Africa with a strong all-black bar. What kind of relationship and liaisoning are you doing to build that kind of support system where you have others advocating as well for the interests of your people in your country?
As things stand, we have not exploited that particular advantage, but and then I am alive to the fact that there is a serious bar, and having attended the International Bar Association, I would not even limit that particular point to South Africa only. I would even say to you at the International Bar Association, and then the significant portion, between 25% or so of those who are in attendance is that particular bar. But and then we will be trying to see what is the best way which and then we can exploit that particular relationship to the best of our advantage.
Thank you so much for appearing on the show. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, and thanks to the listeners.